In today's video, I'm going to be talking about my very favorite episode from the Penguins of Madagascar series, Needlepoint. Now, this is just such a sweet episode. It is so good, and I'll explain why in a minute. Okay, so the episode begins when the penguins are fast asleep, but it shows that Skipper is the only one that's not in his bunk, and then all of a sudden, from out of nowhere, an alarm goes off, scaring the other penguins to death. And they climb out of their headquarters, and they are being attacked with tennis balls, which it turns out to be, Skipper's doing. And it actually was a drill, which, if you know these penguins, you probably understand, I don't even really understand why Skipper did that, but, I guess it was, a training thing that Skipper wanted to do, but anyway. So after he about scares his brothers to death, Skipper and the others are taken to the doctor for a shot that they have to get. And this episode, actually, it's really interesting for a few reasons, and one of the reasons is that this is actually the episode where Skipper's one and only fear is revealed, which is needles. Because in this episode, again, where they have to get a shot, Skipper sees the doctor holding this gigantic needle, and he is afraid of it. And when the others are getting their shots, he gets more and more terrified, and he's finally able to escape. And when the doctor comes to get him, to give him his shot, he knocks the poor guy out. I'm telling you, these penguins are an absolute mess. But anyway, so since Skipper didn't get his shot, he has to leave the zoo, and he takes the others with him. And of course, they don't know that he didn't get his. But when they hide out in a hot dog cart, Private notices that Skipper still has on his ankle tag, and he asked him, did he get his shot? And Skipper lies to him, telling him that he did get it. And that's when Private's like, but then why do you still have on your ankle tag? And the others see this, and Skipper finally decides to come clean, and he starts to tell them that he has a fear of needles, or that is that he's afraid to get a shot. And he starts his words are kind of messed up, and he's just what he's trying to say, just how it comes out is so funny, especially the last time. It's just so funny. And the others are like, what are you trying to say? But Private suspects that Skipper is trying to say that he's afraid to get a shot, which Rico and Kowalski don't agree with. But then Skipper tells them that Private's right, that he's afraid to get a shot, which surprises them. And, that is pretty surprising, with, Skipper being so brave. But yet he's so paranoid, so, yeah, that's really interesting how he's so paranoid, but yet he can be so brave. I'm telling you, Skipper is a big mystery. It's like a lot of layers to him or something. But anyway, so now knowing this, Kowalski and Rico and Private comfort Skipper, and after Skipper admits that he's afraid to get a shot, Kowalski is, and Rico and Private they're just so nice to him. They're just so sweet when he admits this. And there's this one part where Skipper's just looking so, I guess ashamed of being scared of getting a shot and all. And there's this one part where Private tells him that they'll be right by his side, and Rico's nodding his head yes, and that moment is just so sweet. It's just really sweet. I absolutely love how they comfort him, and how they tell him that, hey, we'll be right here, it's all right. You don't have to be big and strong and mighty all the time. So yes, I really like that. And, it's really interesting because, they do that for Skipper, but yet he doesn't do that for them. Because there's this one episode where Kowalski, Rico, and Private are afraid of this really big, ugly, dangerous-looking fish. And Skipper even makes fun of them for being afraid. And I'm like, really, Skipper? It's like, come on, they care about your feelings, so why don't you care about theirs? I mean, come on. It's like they comfort you, they don't make fun of you. So, really? Just, really? Anyway, so when the penguins leave the hot dog cart, they see one of the zookeepers who's looking for Skipper. And Kowalski's like, okay, all you gotta do is go over to her, let her take you to the doctor, and it'll all be over. But Skipper changes his mind and runs away. And the penguins try and try to catch him, but he keeps getting away from them. There's this one part where Kowalski's like, you really don't want to get that shot, do you? You just do not want to get that shot. And yeah, it's like, just a few minutes ago, or a few seconds ago even, you were, they were comforting you, and now you're beating them up, trying to get away from them. I'm like, what is wrong with you, Skipper? Just what is wrong with you? I think that doctor needs to examine your head, too. But anyway, so eventually Private comes up with the idea that he'll take Skipper's place. And since penguins all look alike, really, the zookeeper can't really tell that it's not Skipper. And eventually Skipper sees that Private is going to take his place for him, but it's revealed to Skipper that since Private's already gotten one shot, if he gets another, that he could get sick, or as they say, or worse, which hinting that he could die from it. So Skipper makes up in his mind that he's going to help Private and get the shot that he needs. So Skipper goes into the doctor's office, tells Private that if he gets another shot, he could get sick or worse, which Skipper tells him that he's not sure what the or worse means, except maybe it means that he might grow a second head. And I'm like, no, that's probably not what it means. It's probably going to be much worse than that. But I gotta admit, I do like that they didn't come out and say that Private could die if he got a second shot. So I gotta admit, I do like that. But yeah, we get the idea. It wouldn't be pretty, that's for sure, even if he did grow a second head. But I really don't understand why Kowalski didn't realize that. Because I would think that he would have realized that. But anyway. So Private leaves and Skipper puts on the ankle tag and gets into the cage. And there's another really sweet moment where Private tells Skipper that him and the others don't think any less of Skipper for being afraid. And that right there is actually one of the things that got me to, decide that Private was my favorite penguin, because before, when I first, got into them, and got to know them and all, and saw their show and all, I would hear people say, who's your favorite penguin and that kind of thing, and I'm like, I don't know. But when Private said that, I'm like, he's it. He's my favorite. He's the one. He's my favorite. So yeah, just like, oh, I think that was the absolute sweetest thing that Private's ever said to anyone, let alone Skipper. It's just so sweet, and it's like, Skipper, you could take some lessons from him. I think you could learn more from him than he could ever learn from you. At least when it comes to, being nice and all. Yeah. But anyway, so Skipper gets the shot, and He's not happy about it, of course, but he gets it, and it's all over. And, well, that is for Skipper, because at the very end of the episode, it's revealed that the penguins now need to go to the dentist, and when Kowalski hears this, he runs away, screaming, and jumps into their pool. And I've actually read that animals in the zoo, if they have teeth or not, do need to get, like, oral checkups, so yeah. And at the very end, Private even mentions that they don't have teeth, but yeah, that's why. Plus, they do have beaks, so I guess, you know, a dentist could, like, examine their beaks, I guess, you know. I don't know, I'm not a veterinarian, I don't know what they do or why they do it that way, but yeah, I'd imagine they could, you know, check their beaks and their mouths or whatever. But anyway, so yes, this is an absolute sweet episode. I love this one. But yeah, just, it's really interesting because one, you know, Skipper has this fear of needles, and this is really the only time that we see him have a specific fear of anything. And you know, with him being such a brave character, other than him being paranoid, you know, other than that, it's, you know, really interesting to see him have a fear and hear him actually admit that he's afraid of something. And then for his brothers to comfort him, that is just so sweet. Wish he'd take some lessons from them, though, but hey. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope if you've seen this episode, I really hope you enjoy it. It is so good. It is absolutely so good. I think this is probably the best episode from the Penguin Show. And I'm so glad that I got to review it. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this, and bye!